We are often waiting for someone else to lead, someone else to speak, someone else to start. But what if that someone is you? What if the reason you feel this stirring, this ache to bring change, is because you were meant to begin it?
Not all at once, not with a crowd, but with a step, just one. Because once you move, hope moves with you. It fuels you, strengthens you, reminds you why you began. You'll be tempted to think it's not working,
that the effort is wasted, that your little light doesn't matter in this wide world of chaos. But remember, every wave begins with a ripple, and every ripple begins with a drop. You are that drop. You are that ripple. You are part of something greater than you can see. You don't need the world's applause to live meaningfully. You don't need followers to be a leader. You don't need perfection to be powerful. You just need the courage to keep going, the resolve to keep choosing the light, the humility to keep serving even when no one says thank you, because real hope doesn't ask for attention. It simply shows up, again and again, quietly, faithfully. And over time, it builds something unshakable, a legacy of love, a trail of healing, a testimony of strength. Look at the world around you, so much pain, so much division, so many people walking through life numb, tired, discouraged. You have something to offer them, not solutions to all their problems, but something deeper, the reminder that they are not alone, that they are seen, that they are valued, that there is still good left in this world worth fighting for. You can be the reason someone doesn't give up. You can be the story they tell years from now. There was this one person who showed me kindness when I needed it most. Isn't that worth it? Isn't that everything? You will never regret choosing to care. You will never regret lifting someone else up. And the more you give hope away, the more it grows inside of you. It's not a finite resource. It multiplies with every act. That's the miracle, that's the movement, and that's why now, more than ever, the world needs people like you, not louder people, not more famous people, just real ones, compassionate ones, brave ones, people who carry light into rooms full of shadows, people who speak truth when silence is easier, people who forgive when revenge feels justified. That kind of courage, quiet, humble, relentless, can't be bought. It can only be chosen, and when you choose it, you remind others that they can too. You give them permission to live differently, to lead with love, to respond with grace, to fight with purpose. So don't wait for signs, don't wait for perfect moments. This is the moment right now. Start with what you have. Where you are, use your words to heal, use your hands to build, use your heart to inspire. That's where the power of hope becomes unstoppable, not in the hands of a few, but in the hearts of many, ordinary people, rising daily to do extraordinary things. People like you. The truth is, hope doesn't always look like fireworks or finish lines. Sometimes it looks like standing up when your legs are tired, like showing up when your heart is heavy, like loving again after being broken. Sometimes hope looks like the smallest step in the right direction when fear is shouting at you to run the other way, but those small steps are sacred. Those quiet yeses build momentum, they build movements. They build lives. We are taught to celebrate the loud victories, the promotions, the milestones, the accolades. But the real victories are often invisible. The day you chose not to give up, the moment you forgave when you didn't have to, the times you encouraged others while you were battling your own doubts. These are the moments where hope lives. These are the victories that shift the world. Don't measure your impact by what others can see. Measure it by what you continue to give, even when no one is watching. That's where true greatness grows, not in applause, but in perseverance, not in glory, but in grit. Every time you choose to believe that your actions matter, that your voice has weight, that your kindness carries power, you ignite something eternal. You become part of the legacy of those who chose to believe before the world caught up. Think of the nameless nurses who sat beside the dying and held their hands. Think of the unknown mentors who poured their time into young minds and built quiet confidence. Think of the everyday parents, workers, teachers, friends who chose to keep giving, even when they had nothing left to give. They weren't looking for recognition, they were building hope, one moment at a time, one life at a time, and now it's your turn, not to be someone else, not to mimic someone else's greatness, but to step fully into your own. With your voice, your story, your pain, your perspective, you were not created to be a copy, you were created to be a catalyst, someone who takes what's been given to you, your experiences, your struggles, your victories, and transforms them into fuel for someone else's fire. You don't have to be healed to help. You don't have to be fearless to lead. You just have to be willing, willing to stand up again, willing to speak life again, willing to try again. That's how the world changes. Not with massive declarations, but with daily decisions. Hope is not a theory, it's a practice, a choice you make when the odds are stacked against you, a belief you hold when everything else tells you to let go. It's waking up and choosing to be light when darkness surrounds you. It's being kind when cruelty is trending. It's choosing truth when lies are louder. Hope costs something. It's not easy. It's not always popular. But it is always worth it, because every time you live with hope, you rewrite what's possible. You expand the boundaries of what can be. You give others a glimpse of a better way. And when enough people do that, when enough people refuse to give in to despair, everything begins to shift. Systems change, cultures evolve, generations are lifted, but it all begins with the individual, with one person who believes that what they do matters. You are that person. This is that time. The stage is not in front of a crowd. The stage is your life. The stage is your choices, and what you do today echoes far beyond what you can see. So choose hope. In the conversation that could be an argument, choose understanding. In the moment when you feel invisible, choose presence. In the opportunity to tear down, choose to build. That is power, that is transformation. That is how small acts create big change, because hope, when lived out consistently, becomes unstoppable. It grows through the cracks, it rises in the rubble, it multiplies in silence. And one day you'll look back and realize that everything changed not in one explosion, but in 1,000 tiny sparks you lit without even knowing. And in that moment you'll see the truth, that your life, your voice, your love made more of a difference than you ever imagined. The final truth is this: hope is not for the faint of heart, it is for the brave. It is for the ones who get knocked down and still choose to get back up. It is for those who have seen the worst and still believe in the best. It is for those who have been wounded and still offer healing. The world may tell you to harden, to give up, to expect less, to care less, to feel less. But you are not here to live half alive. You are not here to dim yourself into silence. You are here to shine, to love, to give, to carry hope like a torch through the night. Let them call you idealistic, let them call you naive, but never let them convince you that kindness is weakness or that hope is foolishness. Because history has never been changed by cynics. It has been changed by those who believed when no one else would, by those who acted when everyone else froze, by those who refused to surrender to hopelessness. The leaders who moved generations forward were not always the loudest, the richest, or the most powerful, but they were the ones who carried hope with conviction. They spoke when it was dangerous. They dreamed when it seemed impossible. They kept going when they were tired, mocked, rejected. They knew something we must never forget, that hope is not passive, it is a force, and it does not wait for the perfect moment. It creates one. It digs into the darkness and carves out a path. It opens hands that have been clenched for years. It softens hearts that have been hardened by loss. It builds bridges where there were only walls, and you right now and be a part of that kind of transformation. Not by being perfect, not by doing something grand, but by doing the next right thing with love, by listening without judging, by helping without hesitating, by standing for what is right even when you stand alone. The world is not saved in sweeping gestures. It is saved in the moments we think don't matter. The late night phone call to a struggling friend, the meal you drop off to someone who's grieving, the affirmation you give to someone who doubts their worth. These moments are sacred. They are holy. They are proof that in the quiet corners of the world, hope is still alive, and it is alive in you. You don't need to have it all together to be a source of hope. You just need to be willing to believe in people even when they disappoint you, willing to trust that your love isn't wasted, willing to act with kindness even when it's not returned, because every time you do, you shift the atmosphere. You change the narrative. You prove that light is stronger than darkness, that compassion is more powerful than hate, that even now, especially now, hope has a future. There is someone who needs your courage, someone who needs your resilience, someone who needs your unwavering belief that better days are ahead, and maybe you won't see the outcome right away, maybe your impact will remain invisible, but it will matter. It will echo, it will grow. Every ripple begins with one act. Every act begins with one decision, and that decision belongs to you. Will you rise above the noise, the fear, the apathy? Will you be the reason someone finds their strength again? Will you choose hope, not just as a feeling, but as a way of life, because that is how the world is changed, that is how hearts are healed, that is how impossible dreams become reality, not through force, but through faith, through 1,000 ordinary moments filled with extraordinary love. So today, right now, decide to be the light. Decide to be the one who believes again, who tries again, who loves again. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The world needs more people like you, fully alive, deeply kind, fiercely hopeful. Let your life be proof that hope still wins, that good still matters, that small acts still spark revolutions. Let your legacy be one of healing. Let your influence be one of grace. Let your story be a flame that lights the way for others. This is your moment, not someday, now. Rise beyond fear, rise beyond doubt, rise with hope, and don't ever look back.